We're back at it again here with another video with Invest for Tomorrow. To all the first time viewers and investors, welcome to the channel. To all the subscribers, welcome back. All I ask for in return is for you to smash that like button to let me know you watch this video. Helps out the YouTube channel and lets me know you appreciate the time and effort I put into making these videos. Now, in this video, we're going to talk about the top 2 stocks that are setting up to explode. I'm going to share with you guys why and what it is that I'm watching. We're going to jump into it, but before we do, I want to share with you guys the home runs of the day. We managed to find 2 home runs over at the Discord this morning, and we're going to jump into these 2 stocks that are setting up to explode. The 2 home runs of the day were spectacular, guys. This is what we strive for and aim for every single day. The opportunities are out there, and we'll continue to find them. If this is something that interests you, I would like to invite you to join us. The link is down below in the description to the Discord, and by joining, you'll become part of a growing community of investors all looking to learn and grow together. So these are the 3 stocks I mentioned this morning. 2 of them turned out to be home runs, and our worst performer was BIOC. That gave us small jumps of 5 to 10%, almost reaching 10 to 15% at its highest point. Now our home runs of the day were SNOA and NLSP. Let's go ahead and look at these charts and how they performed. So SNOA, we caught this one in the pre-market. It was sitting sideways before it jumped up again, a nice little 3 to 5% jump, pulled back down and took off to a highest point within 20 minutes after the bell of 30% plus, guys. Pulled back down and gave multiple opportunities of 10 to 15% and 10 to 20% in this second run here after the big pullback. Now, the other stock that we were watching that turned out to be a home run for the day is NLSP. At the highest point of the day, 20% plus. We caught this one a few minutes after the bell. It started to run pretty quickly, pulled back down and took off for 20% plus. Here it gave a small jump of 3 to 5% from when I started watching it, and gave another 5 to 10% jump here after pulling back from that 20% jump, guys. If this is something you want to become part of, you're more than welcome to. The link is down below in the description to the Discord, and we look forward to having you join us. Let's jump into these charts. First one on today's list is VERB, Verb Technology Companies Inc. And this stock has been pulling back since it ran to the $4 range and has pulled downwards, and it just hit a new low and bounced off of it. This is why this one is looking very interesting. The short interest is not as high as the second one, but it is at 11%. I'm going to be watching this very closely if this short interest continues to grow and continues to expand upon. But if it doesn't, right, and it keeps on getting smaller and the stock continues to push up higher, this could be a really strong technical setup because of the fact that it might have found a bottom. Now, we don't know yet if this is the bottom, but the lowest point that it reached was 163, and if it starts forming that staircase effect, it's going to continue reaching newer highs, new resistance levels, and continue pushing up higher with momentum. Now, today, it actually pulled back just a little bit, and then it bounced off that low. And that low today was right here at 176. And the highest point that we saw was way up here at 204. So this is going to be super important right now for this stock to break through 204, stay above 176. And if it breaks through it, I would watch carefully how it reacts between 163, 176. And if the bulls are trying to fight and bring it back up, or if the bears are going to continue this big trajectory that they have formed of a bearish turnaround and continue taking this one to newer lows and new support levels. So it's going to be super important to watch it carefully. But if this may have formed a slight bottom and it actually gains strength from here and does that staircase effect and breaks through the 204 mark and continues going higher, this could be setting up to explode and reach newer highs. And if that small 11% continues to dissipate, it can actually push that small percentage of 11% short interest to lower numbers, and the shorts will actually start covering and turn from bears into bulls, pushing this one higher to new resistance levels and beyond what we see in the charts. The second stock on this list is mmat, Meta Materials Inc. Now, we talked about this one yesterday, but it's going to be important to be aware of this one big time, because right now it's showing some strength, but the most important thing is the amount of short interest. We're going to look at that in just a moment, and also the amount of short shares how they've been increasing. So we're going to look here at what's going on. So the lowest point that we've seen in this whole entire bearish trajectory from the peak after the merger all the way down, sitting sideways, has been right here at 281, guys. The fact that it's slightly above it is showing some strength, even with the amount of short interest that the current stock has. But this is huge, guys, because the stock has been fighting, and today it hit highs here of 307 and yesterday of 315. It definitely needs to get above those levels to continue reaching newer highs, and to get started off with, it needs to stay above $3. Now, it's been fighting within that area to kind of form that consolidation and a channel within this area, which is kind of good. And if it could stay there and not go much lower, it is going to show some strength, forcing shorts eventually to cover. And as more bulls join in and push this one up higher, plus the shorts, it can actually cause a catalyst of a huge squeeze or explosion in the stock's price beyond expectations, right? So let's go ahead and look here at what's going on. So the short shares was yesterday, right? 55%. And as yesterday's video that we made it was 51% the day before. Yesterday's was 55. And today it's going to be important to watch and see how it turns out. I'm excited to see that later on this afternoon. But the fact that it's still in the 50s, and if it gets closer to the 60s, it goes to show how much short share volume is actually being used, right, per day, which is huge. Now, the short interest is a whole nother thing, because that's the daily short shares, but the short interest combined, right, the short float is 31% for mmat, and that's pretty huge. For those of you that really follow the short float and follow the short interests out there, that is a high percentage, 31%. And the fact that it's been pushed so low, right? Now, how much lower could this go? I mean, that's the big question. I mean, stocks could go to zero. Stocks could go to penny stock range, which is beyond $2.96 and 95 cents. And what I mean by that is like literally a penny stock below $1 worth pennies, anywhere from 90 cents, 80 cents, and so forth. But I mean, that amount of short interest, if bulls actually start to come together and push this one up, it's going to take this beyond expectations, forcing those shorts to come on in and participate, becoming bulls and pushing this stock up higher. Now, where could this squeeze to? Well, that is a huge question as well. And I mean, the first thing I would do is look at the resistance levels that you could see here within this sideways action since July 13th. And the highest point here on the 15th was 472. That would be one of the first points I would look for the bulls to actually break through and use as a support to continue pushing higher if possible. Now, if that gets broken through, then I would start looking at some bigger numbers like $7 and some change and so forth. But mmat is in a huge position to possibly squeeze, especially with all this data. And if the stock continues to hold up strength and start pushing itself up slightly higher, forcing the shorts eventually to have to cover. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.